Monster. Picture a 6,000 horsepower powerhouse hauling a towering oil separator across highways. Its job? Deliver an industrial component weighing hundreds of tons from a remote port to a refinery miles away. Escort vehicles maneuver ahead, clearing traffic and ensuring safe passage. This colossus on wheels spans multiple axles, each with advanced hydraulic suspension so the load remains balanced. Over uneven pavement, spectators line the streets to watch the convoy creep along. The engine's thunderous growl echoes off buildings, making it impossible to ignore. Yet, beneath the surface-level drama, there's finely tuned technology at work. Drivers coordinate each turn with pinpoint precision. Steering angles on modular axles adjust independently, guiding the multi-ton cargo like a dance. Sometimes the convoy moves at little more than walking speed, but even the slightest acceleration feels like a tectonic shift under all that weight. Ever witness a mechanical claw rip a bus to shreds like it's made of tinfoil? That's the power of a 500 horsepower demolition machine designed solely for destruction. Nicknamed the Claw, this hydraulic behemoth clamps down on steel beams and tears them apart in seconds. Compared to a regular city bus with a modest 200 horsepower engine, the Claw has more than double the might and specialized jaws to obliterate entire vehicles. Thanks to advanced hydraulics, the Claw's operator can manipulate the jaws with surprising finesse, picking apart sections of the bus without losing grip. It's not always about raw power. Sometimes you need precision to ensure no valuable scrap is wasted. The machine can even perform surgical demolitions on structures that require selective dismantling. Cut here, twist there, peel away layers. Yet in its most dramatic mode, the Claw is just a force of nature, unstoppable in its quest to devour metal. Compared to older demolition rigs, modern variants of the Claw incorporate sensors that detect tension and adjust hydraulic pressure accordingly. Not only does this technology prevent sudden mechanical failures, it helps keep operators safer and reduces downtime. So if you're at a scrapyard and hear the roar of an engine paired with the grinding of metal, look for a giant mechanical arm in motion. Chances are, the Claw is feasting, and that's an unforgettable sight. At large-scale landfills, you'll find the BOMAG garbage compactor, often dubbed the Steel Monster. This machine's spiked steel drums are designed to crush and compress huge mounds of waste. Maximizing space efficiency. Equipped with a 300,500 horsepower engine, it relentlessly grinds through mountains of refuse, flattening them like dough under a rolling pin. Imagine standing at a landfill's edge, wave upon wave of trash piles up. Old furniture, construction debris, household waste, forming a chaotic landscape. Then, the BOMAG compactor appears, rolling forward with unstoppable momentum. The engine's growl is deep and resonant. Each rotation of the spiked steel drum compresses layers of trash, breaking everything from plastic containers to metal appliances. Observers liken the sound to bones crunching, an intense reminder of the compactor's formidable force. Still, raw crushing power is only half the story. Meet the Veil Train, a monster of the rails loaded with more than 250 carriages carrying raw materials, iron ore, coal, or other commodities. Despite traveling on a downhill grade and using dynamic brakes for most of the journey, it still maintains speeds of 60 km/h or more. Each locomotive can produce several thousand horsepower, collectively making the train a rolling powerhouse. Standing near the tracks as this behemoth roars by can rattle your chest. Car after car after car passes in an almost endless parade, each filled to the brim. Locomotive engineers must monitor multiple variables, track conditions, brake wear, load distribution, because a single miscalculation can spell disaster when dealing with thousands of tons of momentum. Dynamic braking systems help convert some of that momentum into electrical energy, which is then dissipated as heat, sparing the mechanical brakes from constant strain. One of the Veil Train's claims to fame is operational efficiency, hauling vast amounts of ore over mountainous terrains or extended stretches of rail. It replaces what would otherwise be hundreds of truck trips. In resource-rich regions, it's the backbone of the local economy, ferrying vital materials to ports and industries. Observers often marvel at how quietly the train glides, though the hush is deceptive. Beneath the calm exterior is unstoppable muscle, taming gravity itself. A truck exclusively designed to transport rabbits? It might sound absurd until you see the specialized compartments and climate control in action. Enter the 450 horsepower rabbit transport truck, equipped with advanced air conditioning, lighting, and multi-layered cages that keep bunnies comfortable over long distances. Operators follow strict animal welfare guidelines, including careful driving to minimize jostling. What's astonishing is how well the heavy-duty chassis and robust engine handle highways, steep hills, or even muddy farm tracks. Enter the FlexiRock T35, a drilling rig that punches above its class with a 230 horsepower engine. The power figure may seem modest compared to multi-thousand horsepower transports, but the T35 excels in consistent, high-precision drilling. Whether you're prepping for blasting in a quarry or setting up foundation pylons for a highway, this rig can handle tough rock with surgical efficiency. Its secret weapon lies in adaptive drilling control. The T35's onboard computers measure resistance and adjust percussive force and rotation speed on the fly. In practical terms, that means fewer jammed drill bits and smoother boreholes. From the operator's vantage point, a well-organized dashboard provides live feedback on everything: drill depth, bit wear, and substrate hardness. For construction managers, this translates to minimal downtime and high productivity. One remarkable sight is watching the T35 drill at odd angles on rugged hillsides. Hydraulic stabilizers anchor the rig while the mast pivots with surprising nimbleness. Dust shrouds the immediate area, occasionally revealing sparks when the bit hits especially hard rock. Scaling up the drilling ladder is the Liebherr LB28, boasting a 400-mile-power engine for deeper, more demanding boreholes at major infrastructure sites, bridge foundations, tall building basements, or highway interchanges. You'll find the LB28 plunging massive tools into the earth. Its robust Kelly bar can drill through layers of gravel, clay, or partially weathered rock with unwavering tenacity. When the LB28 hits an especially tough layer like basalt or heavily compacted gravel, its power advantage becomes evident. The rig doesn't stall or whine, it methodically grinds its way down. Onlookers sense a deep rumble resonating from below. If you watch the supporting outriggers, you'll see them shifting subtly to maintain equilibrium. Real-time sensors track the drill's angle, ensuring every borehole remains perfectly vertical, or at whatever precise angle engineers require. Once the hole is drilled, crews swiftly place rebar cages or prefabricated steel forms. Concrete pumps then fill the void, creating a sturdy column that can bear tremendous weight. Demolition is only half the battle. After structures are raised or tracks removed, someone has to haul away the massive piles of rubble. Enter the Hitachi ZX673, armed with a 400 horsepower engine and robust lifting hydraulics. It seamlessly shovels mountains of debris, concrete chunks, twisted rebar, leftover timber into waiting trucks or specialized waste containers. The ZX673's real charm lies in its cycle efficiency. Each scoop can hold a significant volume of material, and the machine can pivot, dump, and return in mere seconds. That rapid pace keeps trucking fleets busy. There's often little to no downtime waiting for the excavator to reload. Observers sometimes describe it as watching a giant robotic arm choreographed to a steady rhythm: chunk in, swing out, dump, repeat. Urban demolition sites especially appreciate the ZX673's smaller turning radius relative to older models. Its track design and advanced hydraulic pumps allow precise movement in tight quarters. While dust and debris swirl, the operator remains safe in a sealed cab with reinforced glass, aided by cameras that reduce blind spots. Some owners even retrofit attachments, hydraulic breakers, or cutting shears, transforming it into a one-stop demolition solution. Deep basements and partially subterranean structures require specialized tactics. That's where the CAT 349E, boasting 380 horsepower, excels. Not only can it handle standard demolitions above ground, it also navigates tight confined areas beneath the surface thanks to a reinforced design that manages limited overhead clearance. Safety is paramount. Onlookers notice a robust roll cage around the operator's seat, plus a filtration system that keeps dust levels manageable. Walls might be inches away, requiring slow, deliberate movements, yet the unstoppable synergy of engine torque and advanced hydraulics ensures that once the CAT 39E starts demolishing, few structures remain standing for long. Over time, the machine chips away at columns and floors until the entire underground area is cleared, and mountain roads challenge even the most powerful machines. So when a Caterpillar 65B mounted on a 9-axle heavy-haul trailer overcame a steep grade that skeptics deemed impossible, jaws dropped. The tractor's engine, often rated around 406 horsepower, depending on model, roared as it pushed the entire load upward, axle by axle. Part of the secret lies in the synergy between the truck's torque and specialized trailer design. Hydraulic boosters on certain axles provide extra push, while advanced traction control prevents wheel slippage on gravel-strewn asphalt. The unstoppable engine hum never falters, even if progress is measured in feet per minute. Hours later, the rig emerges at the mountaintop site. Next up is the Sunward SWDM28, a mid-range 250 horsepower rotary drilling rig, made for robust yet agile performance. On sites requiring medium-depth boreholes, like for wind turbine foundations or certain bridge piles, the SWDM28 is a go-to. Its main advantage is adaptability. Operators can swap out drilling tools for different soil conditions without extensive reconfiguration. Even in inclement weather, drizzle, or light snow, the SWDM28 keeps working. That unstoppable aspect is crucial for time-sensitive projects. Some variants include tilt sensors and auto-leveling systems, ensuring the mast remains perfectly vertical. The result? Straighter holes with minimal drift, critical for stable foundations. With each hole completed, the rig repositions efficiently. The synergy of moderate horsepower, well-designed hydraulics, and precise controls can outperform bigger rigs in smaller tasks, especially where maneuverability matters. Although overshadowed by monstrous drilling machines, the SWDM28 stands tall in its niche, demonstrating that unstoppable progress comes in all sizes. Far from glamorous demolition sites or highways, the M35A2 Deuce, often rated around 210 horsepower, wades confidently through boggy terrain. Although overshadowed by bigger vehicles, this military-style 6x6 truck is legendary for conquering swampy landscapes. Tall, aggressive tires churn mud while a robust chassis shrugs off thick underbrush in shallow water. On rescue missions or oilfield explorations in remote areas, the Deuce is a star. Observers watch it charge into waist-deep mud, engine laboring but never faltering. Meanwhile, water swirls around the wheel wells, occasionally sloshing over the hood if the ground dips. The unstoppable factor lies in balanced weight distribution and a flexible suspension that keeps all wheels gripping the substrate. Drivers typically plan each route carefully, avoiding sinkholes or submerged obstacles. If the mud is especially deep, they might engage low-range gears, letting the engine deliver maximum torque at low speed. Sometimes, the truck emerges from the swamp caked in sludge, steam rising from the engine block, a testament to its unstoppable fortitude. Limestone quarries present relentless challenges: dense rock formations, dust-laden air, and the need for high production rates. Enter the Chemrock EKT series Excavator, armed with a 500 horsepower engine and specialized rock buckets. Watch as it scoops large slabs of limestone or swings hammers to break boulders into manageable chunks, feeding an endless chain of dump trucks. One hallmark of Chemrock EKT is the reinforced pivot points and hydraulic lines. Limestone's abrasive nature can quickly wear down lesser machines, but the EKT's unstoppable design uses alloy steel and extra seals to reduce friction damage. Operators also rely on advanced cooling systems to prevent overheating in sweltering quarry pits. When the excavator's bucket slams into a limestone face, shards of rock fly, clouds of dust envelop the scene. But the EKT remains undeterred. Its stable undercarriage keeps it from tipping even at extreme boom reaches. Each scoop can weigh several tons, yet the machine pivots gracefully, depositing material into a waiting truck or onto a conveyor belt. Sometimes, unstoppable power comes in a smaller package, like the Tornado SR229, a 220mm horsepower surface milling machine designed to break up old asphalt or concrete. At first glance, it might look unassuming, but watch as it glides over damaged pavement, a rotating drum lined with hardened teeth peeling away the top layer like skin from fruit. At the Ronda Quarry, a 500 horsepower crane once faced a precarious lift under punishing conditions: muddy terrain, powerful gusts of wind, and a time-critical schedule. Locals watched anxiously as the crane's outriggers settled on sodden ground. With each steel pad in place, the operator extended the boom, hooking onto an oversized limestone block grab. This 500 horsepower marvel exemplifies how unstoppable strength meets advanced safety features: load moment indicators, real-time tilt alarms, and override systems that freeze risky motions. Operators plan. Once the block is secured, the crane powers down and a chorus of relieved cheers erupts from the crew. Hauling a Volvo EC480E excavator often calls for a truck with formidable power, like the Volvo FH16750. With 750 horsepower at its disposal, the FH16 tows the heavy excavator, around 50. The synergy between these two Volvo Titans is striking. One is a specialized truck engineered for massive hauling, the other an excavator with 380 horsepower, ready to demolish or dig on arrival. Loading the excavator onto a low-bed trailer is a meticulous operation. Operators line up ramps, ensuring angle alignment for minimal track slippage. Once loaded, the truck's advanced suspension and brake systems manage the combined weight. At highway speeds, the engine note remains steady, a low thunder underscoring unstoppable might. Sharp inclines or hairpin turns are approached with caution, but never overwhelm the FH16. In cramped subterranean mines, specialized loaders and dump trucks operate in tandem. The Sandvik LH 517-wheel loader, packing 350 horsepower, loads extracted ore or rubble into an Atlas Copco 436B dump truck, built for low-profile haulage. Together, they're the unstoppable backbone of mineral extraction thousands of feet below ground. Communication is vital. Operators use radios to orchestrate movements, avoiding collisions in cramped passageways. The unstoppable synergy emerges when the truck rumbles off toward the surface, or a crusher, returning swiftly for another load. Meanwhile, the loader never stops clearing the face, ensuring minimal downtime. Each shift, they cycle this dance of load, haul, dump, making the mine operation run like clockwork. Sometimes called a colossal digger, the Terex RH120E can fill a 100-ton truck in a handful of scoops. Its 1,000-plus horsepower engine drives enormous hydraulic pumps, allowing the massive shovel or backhoe attachments to swing quickly without stalling. Mining operators love its ability to move thousands of tons of material per shift, drastically shrinking project timelines. Observing the RH-120 at work evokes awe. A single pass of the bucket can weigh more than a city bus. The machine's undercarriage is wide and robust, ensuring it doesn't sink into soft ground. Each pivot is orchestrated by advanced hydraulics, and the operator relies on sensors to keep track of load distribution. Despite its size, the digger moves with surprising grace, like a giant carefully stepping among smaller machines. When the bucket slams into a coal seam or rock face, it peels away layers that lesser excavators might tackle in multiple passes. The unstoppable synergy between the hydraulic system and the engine yields swift, smooth cycles. In bigger mines, you'll see the RH-120E dwarfed only by massive drag lines or bucket wheel excavators, but that doesn't diminish its unstoppable reputation. Crawler excavators, often dubbed bucket loaders, are iconic in the mining and construction sectors. Their fundamental design comprises a rotating cab, track assemblies, and a hinged arm ending in a bucket. Though horsepower ranges widely from 100 to 1,000 plus, the principle remains the same. A powerful diesel engine drives hydraulic pumps that move the arm and tracks. In monster crush it style, bucket loaders occasionally play the demolisher role, tearing down walls or smashing rubble. An operator might swap the standard bucket for a hydraulic breaker or shear, turning the loader into an all-purpose demolition tool. The unstoppable factor emerges when tasks pile up. Dig here, break there, load this truck, clear that debris. A single well-managed crawler excavator can handle it all. If you've never seen a truck pivot sideways, meet the Hydria 912 ES, known for its all-direction wheel steering. With an engine typically around 350 horsepower, it's not the absolute strongest, but its unique design enables lateral movement and ultra-tight turns. Construction managers adore this truck for congested work sites where large machines struggle to maneuver. And do you feel like you're in your truck in all ways with the amazing protection of prime load and part cover? At first glance, you might think the Hydria 912 ES is malfunctioning because the wheels appear to move in conflicting directions. In truth, each wheel angle is calculated, letting the vehicle move diagonally or even spin in place if needed. It's surreal to watch it navigate behind buildings or inside warehouses with minimal clearance. The unstoppable factor here is agility, sometimes more crucial than raw horsepower. Soft, swampy terrain is a nightmare for many heavy trucks, except for the Volvo A30G fitted with 1 meter wide LGP, low ground pressure tires. This modification spreads the truck's weight over a larger surface area, reducing sinking in mud or sand. The A30G's engine, generally around 350-370 horsepower, works alongside specialized transmissions to tackle unpredictable ground. Visualize a soggy construction site after weeks of rain. Ordinary trucks spin their wheels, burying themselves deeper. In contrast, the A30G glides across, the broad tires providing flotation. Operators maintain steady throttle to avoid spinning, and the truck rumbles along with unstoppable ease. Witnessing it from the sidelines is jaw-dropping. An entire multi-ton load moving across terrain that can't support regular vehicles. Safety features include robust traction control and adaptive shifting. Even if one tire encounters a ditch or watery patch, the system compensates, sending torque where it's needed. The result? Minimal downtime. Projects stay on schedule. Observers might describe it as seeing a tank on oversized rollers. Rumbling forward, unstoppable, oblivious to the clinging mud. Deep in Scandinavian forests, you'll find the sharp ponds systematically felling trees at a rate of 140 per hour. Equipped with a 300-plus horsepower engine and a specialized harvester head, it not only cuts trees but also strips branches and slices trunks into preset lengths. For operators, it's like running a giant mechanical woodpecker that can do hours of manual labor in minutes. Standing near a ponce in action, one sees the harvester clamp a trunk, saw the base in seconds, then feed the log through rotating knives that remove branches. The trunk emerges smooth, ready for transport. Sawdust and bark fragments spray around, but the machine's enclosed systems keep the operator comfortable. A digital interface tracks trunk diameters, letting the system cut logs precisely to desired sizes. When heavier than heavy structures, bridge sections, ship modules, or industrial reactors must be moved, the Kamagsaran steps up. This self-propelled modular transporter, SPMT, uses multiple axles, each capable of independent steering, and a powerful 500-plus horsepower diesel motor to carry thousands of tons. Nicknamed the Tycoon of Pipe Installation, the Tesmi 1475 wields 600 horsepower for trenching tasks. Equipped with monstrous chains or wheels that eat through soil, clay, or even soft rock, it carves neat, deep channels for pipelines or drainage systems. The beauty is how swiftly it transforms farmland or roadside shoulders into a prepared trench, drastically reducing manual excavation. During operation, conveyor belts carry away debris, leaving a uniform trench behind. GPS guidance ensures dead straight lines, critical for large-scale infrastructure. If the ground composition changes, say from sandy loam to stony clay, sensors detect the shift, adjusting chain speed and torque. The unstoppable factor is that no ground type stalls it. The Tesmi 1475 simply adapts. If you enjoyed this deep dive into unstoppable heavy machinery, don't forget to share your favorite highlights. With its whichever machine captured your imagination, one thing is certain: each unstoppable giant redefines our collective sense of what's possible.